And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax plans, so much more. Over 60 categories of show, content, and consumer advocacy here every day. 5 o'clock drive time on your 1380 The Biz, and also on the weekends, FM 102.5 The Bone. And then we have our daily TV show as well, streaming on WeBeam TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and 90 other outlets. Just search up Binge Networks to find our show on all your smart TV devices. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in the house, my man Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Always great to be here. As usual, looking forward to having a good show and, kind of sharing some mysteries. I thought today, with Father's Day coming up, we could talk about how parents are helping first-time home buyers get into their first homes.
I like that. That's a good Father's Day gift right there.
There you go.
Yeah, helping them out, getting into home ownership. Nothing more important in building that financial legacy, in my opinion, buying
Absolutely.
that first home.
Yeah, start building that wealth.
That's right.
As you're making those payments to live somewhere anyways, you might as well have it bringing down your mortgage balance at the same time having that appreciation rate we like to talk about. And, as that gap grows and grows, that's an equity for investments in the future.
That's right. Yeah, wow, I can't believe it's already halfway through the year, or pretty close, working on halfway through the year.
There.
Man, happening fast. Louise Harris back in studio, Last Research and Editing. Welcome back.
Hi, Brandon. It's great to be here, and I want to talk about why you should write a book, especially because June 6th is the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And
Interesting.
It's important, a milestone of our freedom, and it's a reason why we should look back.
Yeah, absolutely. History tells a lot of lessons, teaches some good, stories to not repeat, ways that you can
Right.
grow your sphere of influence. We talk a lot about that here on the show. Growing your sphere of influence is more important now than ever. And it's just interesting how the trickled out effect comes with the radio, TV show, the writing of the books, blogging, vlogging. There's so many ways that you can get involved and just be that educator, kind of be that digital mayor of your community.
Yes.
Letting people understand more about, your expertise in the area and how you help people. And so good stuff coming up from Louise Harris here on the Consumer Quarterback Show as well. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving, and I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. They do a great job with local or even long-distance moves. And they strive to be the very best Tampa Bay moving company, and their reviews online prove it. 4.6 on Google, 4.5 on Yelp, A rating from their Better Business Bureau and Angie's List. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and we got a couple of hot listings here I want to let you know about real quick. 4449 Marine Parkway. This is an in-unit townhouse with bay access, 2 boat docks out back, gorgeous property. What a great rental opportunity if you're an Airbnb type owner out there or investor. 4449 Marine Parkway, and this is a great opportunity for someone that's in that Port Richey area. It's in Gulf Harbors, Newport Richey. Just a great opportunity for that investor to have a passive income property. Also, 12610 Port Marnock Drive in Odessa. Now, this is an opportunity for owner-occupied, I think would be primarily what we're looking at here. This is a family that would want to move in. Beautiful home. And if you check out the beautiful photography, compliments of Fabre Frameworks, they fly that drone up there. They get the beautiful pictures above the home. And you got water views in the back, nice golf course view, and also water views in the front. Turnberry at the Eagles. Hot real estate property listings here at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And we got a feel-good story of the day coming at you here as well. Hero Dogs save owner who was being attacked by 2 armed men. Interesting story there. A couple of boxers coming out and helping out the owner. That's really cool. We love our feel-good stories of the day. And let's jump right into it. We got Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group. And when we think about the real estate game, we think about real estate mortgage, the finance side being such a key component, Scott, when it comes to, building that wealth, getting out of renting. We've been helping a lot of renters lately get out of renting, get into home ownership while the rates are still low.
Absolutely. And they've gone down even more since we talked about it last. It's been crazy, and we've got that perfect storm that we keep talking about of the busy time of year traditionally anyways, coupled with the low interest rates. And it's a great time for people to get into their first home, because as those interest rates go down, that increases the amount of money that they can spend and keep the same payment.
Right.
Because it adds to your buying power essentially. So it's a great time if you've thought about getting into it, or you want to buy a first house, or you want to sell your house and upgrade, or even a refinance. That's what my team's there to help with, and help determine what your options are, because there's several different loan programs out there. And I've talked about before, I'm a broker, so we've got access to 50 different lenders, and we've got negotiated terms with most of them where they don't charge any lender fees. So that saves a ton of money right there, anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 for things like underwriting and processing and so on. And that most of the lenders out there, most of the banks are using that to help cover their overhead. So I've already got that negotiated, so that saves homeowners or home buyers especially a ton of money, because they're coming out of pocket a lot of times with those closing costs.
Right.
And that's just tacked on top of it. But there's now with the rates low, allows you to buy more for the same payment, so that could bump somebody up into kind of that next class of home.
Right.
And so with that being the case, I've been getting a lot of calls, and I mentioned earlier about parents asking me, how can I help my kid get to their first home? What can I do to get them out of my house in some cases?
Yeah, right. Get them out.
I hear all kinds of crazy things, but ultimately there's a couple different ways, and it depends on what the situation is. But a lot of times it comes down to that initial upfront investment, that down payment money, or the closing costs.
So that's the barrier to entry a lot of times.
Oh yeah, I find that to be the barrier, because you can go rent an apartment from an apartment complex, and you're basically with decent credit come out of $200-300 of a deposit. They're not getting that last security deposit all 3 months up front, like you get with an investor owned private residence, if you will,
right.
A single family home of some sort. A lot of times there's a lot more invested there, and it's understandable. But so that challenge of paying the rent, because the rent costs are up so much, has the younger generations that are trying to save for that first house kind of stuck, because it eats up so much of their budget.
And the income hasn't gone up in conjunction with the rents.
Yeah, and and a lot of times too, that they're in their first or second apartment, and so they're still kind of trying to get all that stuff figured out.
Right.
Or they've reverted back to living with mom and dad so they can save up money.
Right.
And so a lot of times what parents will do is they'll give a gift that allows them to have the down payment. And we're talking about, on most of these programs, you can do with as little as 3 to 3.5% down. And, so it's not a ton of money, but it's a decent enough amount to come up with that it can be a challenge for some people.
Yeah.
So parents are able to give that gift and kind of accelerate the timeline for them and help them build equity and take advantage of a hot market with, 2, the low interest rates. Now's the time to take advantage of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love the idea of, young couples when they get married, setting up instead of the traditional, hey, buy me all these pots and pans and cookware and stuff that you're not going to use as much or you don't actually need. You can go buy that stuff secondhand from somewhere.
Right.
Go buy that stuff cheaper than you do from a retail store and setting up on a site and say, hey, instead of, buying this stuff for us, put us some money in an account so we can start building our wealth through home ownership.
And that's something if you're if you're a young married couple or you're thinking about you're getting ready to get married, I should say, let's talk about it, what your plan is, so that I can guide you in the right way to make sure we minimize the paperwork and the pain, that kind of comes along with trying to source a bunch of different deposits and money. And typically the rule of thumb is you have a separate account set up just for that whole purpose.
Yeah.
And there's no money in there, of your own. You're not transferring money back and forth. That the only thing it's for is those deposits from your wedding or the gifts that you're getting, the ideally checks, so that, we can show what it was for and so on. But, sometimes people get a bunch of cash at their wedding. But if we deposit it all at one time with the checks, and they're all deposited at the same time, we can use that money as sourced money, even if it just came in a week ago.
Yeah.
And that money can be used for your down payment and your closing costs, and it's a great way to, jumpstart that next step in your life with your new partner.
Yeah.
Is to buy that home. Obviously,
It sure
let's make an investment.
Creative way.
And
Plus, you can also negotiate seller concessions in the deal. There's a lot of ways to get creative. People don't realize it, and inherently they don't know what they don't know, and that's the challenge a lot of times with people when you talk to them that first time and they have that passion and they finally, there's normally an event that happens. The landlord raised the rent $1,000, $2,000, and it's like, oh, I've got to do something. Let's analyze my options. Then they get aggressive with it. So Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group, best in the business here, local lender, support the local economy. And also Louise Harris here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. When we come back, Hero Dogs save owner who was being attacked by two armed men right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own and operate that team, and we're up to 10 agents now, recruiting and bringing on great agents on our team and being selected with that process. If you are an agent out there and you want to talk about that, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Reach out on our hotline, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. 7372. Give us a call or a text. Anything that you hear on the show. We've had an uptick in calls lately. We love it when you reach out. We want to engage with you. We want to be your consumer advocate and help you with all those different decisions. ConsumerQB.com is your #1 resource. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, their contact information. You can also submit an email form that comes directly through to myself and my team of producers, and we're going to make sure we get right back to you before our head hits the pillow. This segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant. The official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Lucky Dill Restaurant. They've got deli, a New York City bar, Brooklyn bakery, catering, banquets, and more. Home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. Excellent food, very friendly service staff, and just a great ambiance when you go and have lunch or dinner or even a breakfast there at the Lucky Dill, 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. They've got a great location in Palm Harbor as well, and LuckyDillDeli.com for your catering needs as well. Home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn, and they've got much more than just sandwiches, guys. They've got great entrees, soups, salads, all types. It's a huge menu. Great food. The Lucky Dill Restaurant. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we are back here in studio. We're going to help you win in any marketplace. Of course, that is our goal. Couple of hot listings here, compliments of the Platinum MVP team. 13508 Indian Oaks Trail. This is in Largo, 5 minutes from the beach. Beautiful pool home, right around that $400,000 price point, and it's a great location in street, cul-de-sac street, and just a beautiful home. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay, and we've got some really nice properties available as well in the area, as well as 11540 Shipwatch. This is a condo. It's unit 1391 Shipwatch Drive. And this one is very close to the beach as well, right around the corner from the other home. And it's a gorgeous end unit, 2-bedroom condo in Shipwatch, the subdivision. And it's lakefront, right on the pond. Beautiful properties. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so we got Louise Harris in the house. Last research and editing. She can help you as a ghostwriter. She can help you put together press releases, writing your own books, and being an advocate of that space.
Hi, Brandon. It's great to be here. And as I said before at the top of the show, it's the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And that made me think that we're losing a lot of our past because in the 17 and 1800s, we learned about those eras because people wrote letters, they wrote journals, they wrote diaries.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is digital now. Nobody writes a letter.
Yeah.
Nobody will, and even if they do write it, they don't save it because it's too much clutter in their house.
Yeah.
So we are really losing our past. And the people that gave their lives in D-Day, the people that were in D-Day are now dying off. So we can't even get our history that way through personal interviews.
Right.
So the best way to preserve our past is to write a book. And you can do many different kinds. You can do a memoir, or you can do a biography or an autobiography, but it will help future generations know what happened in 2019.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that we don't lose our past and that we start accumulating this data that's on the net and putting it in a place that'll continue throughout history.
Sure. Passing it down generations,
Yes.
generation to generation. It's interesting. I think about that sometimes when I sit down with my grandma, Granny Evelyn, talking to
Right.
her about some of the stories that she has the day after her wedding, back out in the fields working hard, canning tomatoes to make sure you make it through the hard times.
And I have a lot of those stories from my grandparents, but
Yeah.
now all my grandparents are dead. So, and my parents are very old.
Yeah.
So those things that are great memories to pass down through stories need to be in a form that other people can find them. And
Right.
and writing a book isn't just for passing it down generation to generation. You can also use it as a marketing tool, which I've mentioned many times on this show. That if you are an expert in an industry and you want to show that you're an expert, write a book about the thing that you're an expert. And
That's right.
then you can use that where you go to trade shows, you can use that online to capture names, and it becomes a marketing tool for you.
That's right. I remember that was one of my goals back, years ago. I think it was 7 or 8 years ago. I wrote my first book, and that was one of my goals. It was on my list of, my list to do, my vision board, and then it really helped me, put together first book was kind of a play on the show as well, where we had all of our consumer advocates or the ones that wanted to participate write a chapter. We accumulated that chapter, so maybe that's another way for them to think. They think, oh wow, for me to write my own book, that's so much work. It's too
daunting,
much.
right? And I get that a lot. And I always tell them, if you break it down into smaller tasks, like 10 pages a day, as opposed to 250 pages.
Right.
10 pages a day means you can have it written in 25 days.
Yeah.
And you also have to remember that a book is 6 by 9. So it's not really a full page that you're writing. It's a half a page. So 10 pages at half a page is very more doable to most people.
Sure.
So that's what I always coach them. I'm like, don't think of the whole thing. Think
Yeah.
of it as chapters or
Yeah.
think of it as pages.
I like that. And you're able to talk to yourself, Louise Harris. You can talk to her as a ghostwriter, so you could literally do this over the phone, over a
Right.
Skype conversation on the computer.
And I do that a lot. I have clients all over the world that I talk through Skype, and I will do the editing, or I will coach them over the phone or through Skype and send them a new draft, and then they'll say whether they like it or not, and we'll discuss it that way. So it's not we have to do this in person and interview you and take up all your time type of thing.
That's right. Yeah, and it really helps you from a business standpoint, standing out. Just like the radio show, starting your own radio and TV show. That's something I wrote my book on, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. That's the book that we wrote, a few years back. We launched that into an information product with Ken Shamrock, the UFC Hall of Famer, his partner Des Woodruff, and we are launching that now. It's the Business Growth Celebrity Academy, where you realize the celebrity in you. Build your personal brand, increase your status, and anyone can become a celebrity. You just have to work at it.
Yes, and the books can be a springboard for a lot of things. It
Right.
can be a springboard for a radio show. It can be a springboard for a teaching or a consulting business.
Yeah, speaking. Yep, speaking
Yes.
business.
So,
Exactly.
there's a lot of things that you can do with a book. And even if all you want to do is pass down your personal history,
Right.
that is a valid goal too.
Yeah, very cool. And the idea of being known as the celebrity, the expert in your business, going into your networking events and meeting people and saying, hey, by the way, here's a copy of my book. If I gave you a copy of my book, would you read it? Or
Right.
leave me an Amazon review at least,
Yes.
You do that, you're building celebrity. Plus, the thing that I've found as well is it's really, it's afforded me the opportunity to get picked up by Florida Realtor Magazine several occasions. They've contacted me, the Better Business Bureau, the Tampa Bay Business Journal. Some of those companies will contact you, Top Agent Magazine, and you get interviewed, and it's pretty cool to be interviewed as an expert. Now you're a published author, not just another realtor of those 30,000 realtors out there.
Right, and that makes you distinct.
That's right.
And people in the trades, they know air conditioning, and yet they could be so much more than just, I know air conditioning, if they said, okay, here's a book on tips for your air conditioning unit, you know, and they don't
indoor air quality,
right?
You know,
and
take it from that to the indoor air quality piece. Now, you know, you're a consumer advocate like Greg Bowman does, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, when he comes on the show.
Right. And the point is that they don't think about it, because all they think about is, I'm going to fix air conditioners today. They don't think that, hey, a book might be a marketing tool for even an air conditioning business.
Yeah, it absolutely will be, and it's another way, again, to differentiate yourself. I want to remind you as well, we've got our event coming up here on the 27th. If you're a networker out there, you want to come and join us, we're going to throw the largest speed networking, Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event. It's on the 27th, June 27th, coming up right around the corner here, and it's at the Verizon Event Center. Really cool venue on East Bay Drive in Largo. This is the 27th of June. Save the date. It starts at 6 p.m. We're going to have catered food. We're going to have DJ, magician, entertainment, all types of great networking. And it's all about making connections for your business. The Quarterback Show, Consumer Quarterback Show, presents Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event 2.0 at the Verizon Center. Save that date. It's the 27th, Thursday the 27th. At 6 p.m. Verizon Event Center right here in Tampa Bay and Largo. So it's a great opportunity to come out and meet a lot of our expert contributors. I know you guys probably will be there. A lot of our expert contributors will be there. It's great networking, good connections to be made, and just a really fun, uplifting environment. And it's just great entertainment as well. So we'd love to see you there. If you are a business owner or a salesperson, you got to be there. And we'll see you on the other side of the break. Our feel-good story of the day, Hero Dogs save owner who was being attacked by two armed men. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here at the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're very glad to have you here with us, and we value your time. We want to add value to your life by delivering you consumer advocate advice, consumer advocate content every day, 5 o'clock, right here on 1380 The Biz, our weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone, Sunday mornings. And we're also on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, literally 85 other outlets on Binge Networks. Just search up Binge Networks on your smart TVs. And make sure you follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show pages as well on Facebook. And hit us up on LinkedIn. We'd love to connect with you there as well. And let us know how we can be of service to you. We want to be your number one consumer advocate here and help you win in any marketplace. This segment is brought to you by the Bill Maher Beach Resort. The official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Bill Maher Beach Resort on Gulf Boulevard in beautiful Treasure Island. Filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special, the Bill Maher Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for many years. And whether you're planning a business trip or a family outing, it's just a great place to hang out. They've got 2 pools on site. Sloppy Joe's is the restaurant on site as well. They got a beach bar and nightly music, 2-beer beach, as Clyde Smith calls it. Just a great opportunity to go hang out with the family on the beach. Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give them a call. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, hot property listing here, 5127 27th Avenue in Gulfport. This is a completely renovated and updated home, and it's just gorgeous. If you look at the professional photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks, this looks like it could be in a magazine. I mean, it's just a great home, great investment opportunity as well. There's a duplex with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath in both units, and then you also have a separate unit as well. Right here in Gulfport, just a great opportunity in the area. $700,000 price point for that property. Also, 207 Coronado Drive, Clearwater Beach. This is for the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the developers on the beach. 5,500 square foot lot. We've got a large building there as well with 3 units in the back for rentals. But this would be, highest and best use. You determine that. You determine what you want to put there. And it's right across the street from the Hyatt or the Wyndham Grand, and also the the Hyatt there as well, right on Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, so we got Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group, local lender supporting the local economy with our show. All of the expert contributors that we bring on the show, it's all based here in Tampa Bay. We're keeping that money local. We're circulating that throughout the economy. And he's also a broker, so he's able to shop the best loan programs. And Scott, I think that's a lot of misconceptions people have is they walk into their bank, the one on the corner that took the bailout money, the big names, them.
Right.
And I hate to support those companies, so hopefully you don't support them as well. The guys out there and gals, it's something where supporting a local lender like Scott, he's family-owned company, supporting the local economy. And I don't think you didn't take any bailout money, did you?
No.
Okay. Right? Yeah. And me neither, by the way. But we probably paid a lot in. We paid a lot
absolutely.
in. And then our politicians, they go and give the big guys all the big money, and they go buy the big corner lots and all that good stuff. So the real estate. Sure. So again, supporting local economy. And there's many programs, that people can utilize.
Absolutely.
For down payment assistance or down payments, minimal down payments rather.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of first-time home buyers programs out there, and most of the time we see anywhere from 3 to 3.5% down on average under those programs. But back to your point about the banks, the best part about having a broker, it's kind of like a personal shopper for your home mortgage. I have all the same programs the banks have. I have a lot more because they tend to work with the vanilla borrower, if you will,
the easy stuff.
The easy stuff. They kind of cherry pick the good stuff, if you will.
Yep.
And not to say that just because they cherry pick, they give you the best deal either. And that's where I come in, is I can shop and show you what options are available to you and show you how it saves you money versus the bank or the online lender or the credit union or whomever it is that you think you should go to for a mortgage.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of those online people that the big ones, they I'll just flat out tell them no. Like if I have a listing and the buyer side submits that type of an approval, I say no.
Right.
We need one from either one of our lenders or another lender. But that company, they have about a 50% fallout rate,
Or higher.
Yeah.
I bet I'd be willing to bet it's probably probably closer to 75, because all they do is they look at one thing. They pull your credit. They look at your credit and they assume you have the money to put down, and they assume that the income you gave them was correct, and they give you a pre-approval letter.
Yeah.
But they don't actually go through the steps of making sure they can do the deal.
Yep.
Because they're all about satisfying their advertising dollars, and they're doing it based on a high volume of people coming in and a high volume of people falling out.
Right.
And then do they have decent rates? The rates aren't terrible, but I can
Right.
beat them most cases.
Yeah.
And so that's the misconception, because it's easy and I can punch a button on my phone and it pops up my pre-approval letter 30 seconds later. Chances are there wasn't a whole lot of approving going on,
Right.
in that situation.
Underwriting or at least originating, it's like
I mean, sure. I mean, I can tell you just based on, a conversation, yes or no, but my reputation is way more important to me than that. And that's the
Right.
problem, is they built themselves a bad reputation with the professionals on your side of the business that have to be an advocate for your sellers,
Right.
and be able to inform them of, hey, based on my experience, this pre-approval may or may not be worth the piece of paper it's written on.
It's so bad, and then think about what happens. The seller's all ready to close. The buyer's ready to move. The moving truck's been paid for. Half of it's
a
deposited.
mess.
The realtors lose their commission. The title company has to start all over again. So many people are frustrated through that process, all because of these companies, the way that they operate. Their business model has flaws.
Right.
And they don't care because they only want that top 99% cream off the top.
And that's the thing. When I sign a pre-approval letter, I'm telling that agent that I can get this deal done for you.
And you're local here.
And I'm local here. You can call me. You can stop by my office. But communication is a big part of that. And I have a team that, takes care of everything on the back end, make sure everything goes smooth. We run it down the assembly line essentially.
Yep.
And then we stay in touch. Our system automatically sends out updates as we hit each milestone throughout the process, and then we're constantly reaching out by phone and text and making sure everybody's up to date. And that's a big part of it. There's this is a business transaction, but ultimately there's a lot of emotions that are attached to it at the same time.
Yeah, and so kind of let's walk through a transaction then. So initially, the property goes under contract. So once you have that contract, that's when the buyer and seller has agreed. They've come together. They said, okay, you're going to have the 10-day inspection period. You're going to have normally 20 to 25 days or so to get a loan commitment back, right?
Right.
So sometimes they say, well, when can I get out of the contract? Am I allowed to get out of the contract? So the way I explain it is that the first 10 days, if that's what it was, a 10-day or a 15-day inspection period, sometimes we trim that down to 7 days if it's a real fluid market and we don't want to tie the property up longer as a listing agent. So we'll say, okay, let's say it's 10 days. So after that 10th day, the money goes hard. The deposit money goes hard, meaning that if they cancel the contract after the 10 days, they lose their escrow deposit.
Right.
Now, after that, they have a financing contingency. I'll let you walk us through the financing contingency.
And the financing contingency will depend on number of days of the contract typically, but it gives us time as a lender to do at least our initial underwriting process and determine, does this person qualify based on the income documentation that we have and the asset documentation that we have and the credit report, of course, and in the property. Hopefully by then we have the appraisal back, and in most cases, we do. We typically try to have it within, that 10-day time period.
Let me ask you on that while we're at that point. Some of the sellers sometimes they said, I want them to order the appraisal within the first 5 days or the first 7 days. Can they do that? Are they allowed to dictate to the lender what they want?
What you guys agree upon in your contract is up to you, and we'll do our best to meet all of the dates in the contract.
Yeah.
So if the buyer that I'm working with is the mortgage person, the borrower on the mortgage, agreed to that, then I'll do, like I said, I'll do my best. You know, in most cases, I find it depends on the house, but in most cases, I find that they want to at least get the inspection piece done.
Yeah.
And get thumbs up from the inspector before they pay for the appraisal.
Yep.
And I think I usually recommend that if there's any question, you know, if it's a house that's recently built and, you know, the roof's new or, you know, those kind of things and they feel pretty good about it, then, you know, we move forward with it. But I kind of leave that up to the borrower and the buyer, if you will, and the real estate agent and how they feel about the property and the inspection. So, but anyways, I can make it happen if it needs to happen.
Yeah,
That's good. We just kind of put it that way.
Yep, that's right. Because all we want to do is make sure these contracts move forward, they close, you know, or if they don't close, then let's refund the escrow deposits and you know, keep the business moving, get it back on the market, get a backup offer, or move that backup offer into first position, and just keep things fluid for us. And that's what we want to do right here. ScottKepler.com. Check out ScottKepler.com. Mortgage Approval Group, local lenders, support the local economy. Louise Harris in the house. And when we come back, we're going to jump into our lightning round as well as our feel-good story of the day about this hero dog that saves his owner from being attacked right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, #1 real estate company in the world. And we want to help you win in your real estate transactions, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to help you out. And this segment is brought to you by WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show, WholeBodyFuel.com. Excellent food, chef prepared by Brian Adamo, and it's convenient, it's healthy, and it's delivered directly to your home or office. I love it every week. I get my shipment, and it's just great food. I bring it with me to the radio station here or on my listing appointments where I'm meeting sellers. And it's just a great opportunity to have food delivered directly to your home or office. And it's convenient, healthy, and great, great food. WholeBodyFuel.com. And back here in studio, helping you win. Got a hot listing here. Some vacant land. Let me talk about some vacant land. I've got vacant land parcels. I've got some residential listings, some commercial listings, but I also have a few vacant land parcels. 1401 Seminole Boulevard in Largo, corner lot. This is a commercial opportunity, and it's great opportunity for office, medical, retail, restaurants, goods and services. And it's got 200 feet of frontage within the city of Largo, 0.82 acres, almost a full acre, right there on the corner at 1401 Seminole Boulevard in Largo. And we also have a property at 9th Avenue in Safety Harbor. This is a property to build your dream home on 9th Avenue in Safety Harbor, quiet community of Safety Harbor. Beautiful little town there. I love Safety Harbor, and it's a large lot. Great opportunity. The owners are motivated. Make us an offer on it. 9th Avenue, Safety Harbor. Check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And every day we're going to tell you something positive here in our Tell Me Something Good segment.
Tell me something good.
All right, so Hero Dog saved owner who was being attacked by 2 armed men, and this happened in Argentina. A man in Argentina was the victim of an attempted armed robbery, and was quickly rescued by his 2 brave dogs. 2 armed robbers grabbed the man, but then unexpectedly, his dogs came to the rescue. The 2 boxers were inside the owner's vehicle while he was cleaning the trunk. The incident lasted less than a minute, and the objective of the armed men is not clear. But the man's loyal dogs put an end to any criminal activity the men were planning by chasing them down the street. The dogs returned without injury. The perspective report, everything was recorded by a security camera. So video of the attack is online. So pretty cool. Good stuff. Hero Dogs. I grew up with boxers. I love boxers.
Yeah, I have one before.
They're good dogs.
Yes, they are.
Yep. You a dog guy?
I am. Yeah.
Louise, you like dogs?
Cats.
Cats. All right. Yeah, cats are fun. A little bit more allergens, I guess. Some people have them. My wife can't have them.
Yeah, the dander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Feel good story. Everybody loves their animals. All right, now we're jumping into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning round.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Ladies first. Louise Harris.
Okay, well, we didn't talk about the press releases, and I wanted to, you were mentioning how you shouldn't use Rocket Mortgage or one of the other online mortgage companies. Well, you shouldn't use the online press release companies either, because they are usually not generated by a person. They're generated by a computer. They're not in the right format, and most editors just don't trust them, so they won't. They'll throw them away right away. So it's better to use someone local like me, and who I know, I have relationships with the editors. I know how to write it in the correct format, and I know how to spin it where you would use like the 75th anniversary and put that in your press release somehow.
I like it.
And so, but it's also important because summer is a time when a lot of people are on vacations and the editors really don't have any news, so it's 24 hours that they have to fill, and so they're looking for press releases. So summer is actually a good time to send press releases.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Good stuff. I like that tip. That's a good tip. Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group.
Thanks, Brandon. Just kind of circling back around for the first-time home buyers again, and the parents out there, if there's certainly other ways to help outside of gift funds, if you kind of fall into that bucket, if you will, of wanting to help your kids or somebody that you know get into a house, or you're interested in getting your first house and want to know how to pitch it to your parents, give me a call. I'll be happy to talk with you about it and go through all the different pros and cons and the options that are available.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out, reach out. There's so many ways we can help you when it comes to a rent versus own analysis. If you're renting out there, you'd like to get into home ownership. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's someone you love. Let's do that for the first listeners, the first 3 listeners who text in. If you want a rent versus own analysis, we'll offer that to the first 3 listeners that text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to 813-670-7372. And if you're not a texter, you can submit an email form at consumerqb.com. There's an email form that comes right through to myself and my team. But text the word rent to 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. Just text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying. And we're going to make sure that we put you in touch with our mortgage team. They're going to help you out. They're going to set you up with the best possible scenario and show you side by side, here's how much you're paying currently on rent, paying your landlord's mortgage, paying down his mortgage, and not building up any real true equity for yourself versus what you could be paying on this side. This is what the lower payment would look like, and most of the time it's about a 30 to 40% difference in payment. So when you think about the low rates that we have, so many reasons why you want to buy real estate and get out of that renting situation. So my lightning round tip for today, I'm going to explain a model of negotiation. So it's an interesting model called the Ackerman model. And it was from a gentleman out of the book, actually, Chris Voss, but the Ackerman model came about from a gentleman whose last name was Ackerman. But so it's really simple. There's real simple 5 steps basically. What you're going to do is whenever you have a negotiation in mind, you're going to set your base number. Let's say the base number that we wanted to get to was $100, okay? If you wanted to get to $100 at the end of your negotiations, kind of, some people call it haggling, you're back and forth with someone, right? $100 is where I want to be at the end of this thing. So what I would do is I would make my initial offer at 65%. Okay, so $65, right? And then you're going to have 3 reductions over time. Okay, when you go back and forth, you're going to plan out those 3 changes. So it's going to go from 65 to 85 to 95 and then finally 100%. Now, when you're between those numbers, you're going to be using mirrors and labels and calibrated questions to move your counterpart off of his numbers, right? So it's all about being empathetic, understanding the other side, utilizing a mirror, which is simply where you repeat the last 1 to 3 words of what that person's saying, and then also utilizing labels, where you're going to say it seems like, or it feels like, or it looks like this, and this is happening. When you do that, then you're going to be able to move that Ackerman model from 65 to 85 to 95 to 100% of what you actually want. Now, when you're on that last offer, here's my last raise, so to speak, that I can make. You're going to throw in a non-monetary item, something of value or perceived value to that person to make them think that this is literally the most I can squeeze out. So, for example, hey, I'll throw in a CD player, or I'll throw in a DVD collection. Who knows? Whatever.
A book that I just wrote.
Yeah, there you go. Throw in a book. Anything that you can to make them really think that this is the best I can do. I'm at my 100%. That $100 is the max. And by the way, you don't want it to be $100. You want it to be $101.97, right? It's got to be that mental game that you play with the numbers. Never an odd number. A number with a 0 always seems like it could be moved easily. It's like not a permanent, it's just a placeholder, right? so there's the Ackerman model. Use that in your negotiations. It's good stuff. All right, we got a couple minutes left. Let's do another round of top tips, parting words of wisdom, or any events, anything else you want to plug.
Well, I want to just say congratulations to my daughter who graduated high school with
nice.
National Honor Society and all the other honor societies, and IB programs. So she really did a great job.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So she was straight A's or A's and B's?
Straight A's, summa cum laude she had. So
wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, I'm really proud of her, and now she's heading toward the next phase of her chapter of life. So
nice. Off to college?
Yes, Full Sail University in the fall.
Nice. Very cool. Proud mom.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scott
Excellent.
Kepler.
Hard work. Yes. I guess if I had another nugget is if you're a homeowner out there, we've talked about rates going down and down and down. I'd be surprised if they get much lower. So if you're thinking about refinancing, tapping into the equity, if you got some renovations to do, or you're just looking to maybe even reduce your term down to pay it off faster, just reach out to somebody on my team. Give us a call. Our local number is 813-444-8537. That comes directly to the office, and somebody will be there to help you and to learn a little bit more about what you want to do and what your goals are, and we can share how we can utilize those low rates to take advantage of the situation and help you accomplish those goals.
Yeah, some people that are sitting there at maybe a 5.5 or so, hey, maybe they might want to trim it down to even a 15-year. If they're sitting at year 22, trim it down to a 15 years. Lots of ways that they can save money, especially with when we talked about before. There's hits lately to the stock market. Stock market's getting hit. There's things going on with the trade war. Might be a good time to look at a refinance. ScottKepler.com. Louise Harris, last research and editing, and we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good in the community. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, the Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well, and hit us up on our event coming up on the 27th. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Big.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 102.5 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.